is like no other place in the world, the Emerald Island of Kodiak. For visitors, it's the bears and salmon they come to see. But for the Aluktik people, descendants of the island's first settlers, this land means something else entirely. The familiar rumble of a float plane breaks the silence at Karluk Lake. On board, a small group of Koniag shareholders touches down at Camp Island, a trip to see for themselves the work their corporation has begun. Karluk Lake is in the heart of the Kodiak National Wildlife Refuge, the headwaters of the Karluk River and its abundant runs of wild salmon. It's one of the most pristine, wild, biologically rich environments in the world. These are lands that belong to Koniag Incorporated. Company President Will Anderson accompanies the shareholders on the trip.
So you guys ready? Yeah. All right, let's go on a little tour.
A chance to show them the progress of Koniag's development plans and to hear their thoughts and concerns. At Karluk Lake's Camp Island, Koniag is in the process of developing the Kodiak Brown Bear Center. The lodge and cabin facilities will host clients from around the world who come to see, up close, the famous Kodiak brown bear.
All right, let's go look at the cabins. I think you'll be surprised because it's a little bit nicer than you typically see out in a remote campsite. So we'll go inside this cabin here.
For bear viewing enthusiasts, the Kodiak Brown Bear Center will deliver an experience like no other. Exclusive access to witness some of the largest bears in the world. In their natural habitat and under the watchful eye of trained guides. For Koniag shareholders, the Kodiak Brown Bear Center demonstrates something else, a renewed interest by the corporation to use its land to generate revenue.
It's really fun to have a vision and then to see it actually happen. It's very rewarding, and it's taken a lot of work. A lot of shareholders have been involved in the project, and it's been a great success from a project perspective. Now we need it to be a great success from a financial perspective and start generating a revenue stream that is visible to our shareholders and part of our dividend.
There is something else that makes all of this possible. It's the reason Will Anderson brought the shareholders to Camp Island. It's called the Karluk River Conservation Easement, covering more than 57,000 acres of Koniag land. Signed 10 years ago, the agreement is between Koniag, the Kodiak National Wildlife Refuge, and the state of Alaska. It allows Koniag to develop the Camp Island operation and certain cabin sites along the Karluk River. All else is to be protected. In exchange for not developing the land, Koniag receives annual financial payments that go directly to shareholder dividends.
By developing Camp Island, it keeps all the development in one central place. Yeah. That we're not developing all around the refuge, that is just on one island.
And so I controlled and organized.
Yeah, so I feel pretty good about what we've done here, and that it opens up the land for use. You know, shareholders can use this. You know, people who've never gone bear viewing have an opportunity to do that. So I like what we've done here.
Koniag's leadership is educating shareholders on the conservation easement because it expires this year. The question now is whether to renew it. What they don't want is to sell the land, even though it could fetch close to $50 million. Koniag elder Julie Kanagan, originally from Karluk, agrees.
I like my life comfortable. I like to be able to go out and get what I want, buy at the store. If I want an extra pair of shoes or something, even if I don't really need it, just because I think it's cute, I'd like to be able to do that too. But I don't want our land to be sold to do it. Our land is priceless.
Most land rights granted with the Alaska Native Claims Settlement Act went to village corporations. Koniag, a regional corporation, acquired the Karluk lands when it merged with the village corporations from Karluk and Larsen Bay. Koniag's focus on its land intensified in recent years following the move of its corporate headquarters back home to Kodiak.
And I think a lot of people question that decision because, the business world operates outside of Alaska is kind of the perception. But I think it's important to understand that without question, our most valuable asset is our land, and our land is located on Kodiak. And by being present here, we're able to better understand how we can responsibly generate an income stream from our resources that we hold.
And the resources are not just wildlife. On Kodiak's northern coast, the company is developing the Shackmanoff Granite Quarry. The high-quality granite could provide significant revenue for several decades. The Koniag Board of Directors makes the land use decisions, balancing the benefits for today with the long-term interests of the corporation.
We could sell it, we could get a bunch of fast money, and then where do we hang up our hat? Right.
Yeah.
That is sort of a pattern in Alaska where you have this big boom of money, and then what do you have to show for it later on? I think it's going to be so much more valuable for our people to hold on to this property and have a steady stream of income and also be able to protect it for our future generations rather than just get a big bubble of money and then it pops and it's gone.
The land along the Karluk, overgrown now with thick grass, hides the evidence of what was here before. The Karluk River, with its abundance of salmon, thrived as a center of commerce for thousands of years. Dozens of Aluktik villages line the river, hundreds of home sites.
So what I'm going to show you is material from Karluk 1, which was excavated mid-80s.
At the Aluktik Museum in Kodiak, you can see the remnants of the early Aluktik civilization that existed along the Karluk River. Koniag owns a collection of 35,000 artifacts from one archaeological site on the Karluk.
And you have maskettes, you have dolls, absolute amazing collection. You have toys, you have miniature bows, you have shields, you have bowls. And so all of this stuff is just a wealth of knowledge that we've been mining for the last decade.
In Sven Hawkinson's opinion, for the Aluktik people, Koniag's land is more than real estate.
We're from here, we've lived here, and when you have that sense of responsibility, it's not just I own a piece of land there. It's like, well, actually, in a way, the land starts to own us because we belong to it.
Our lands define us because we are the region of the Kodiak Island area, and these lands really do define us as the Koniag people.
Even larger than the issue of generating profits for the corporation, the land issue strikes at the very core of what it means to be Aluktik.
To me, being Aluktik means that you belong to something, that you value the land, the sea, that above all else you respect your elders, that you recognize that you not only should, but you have an obligation to give back to your community and to serve your people.
It's just something that runs in the blood, and it's a fierce pride in the land that you're a part of. You're so close to it in a place like Kodiak. I can't think of anything that's more important.
There's just something about the sound of a diesel engine and salt spray in your face and salmonberry pie and, Pirog, and all those kinds of things are really what connects everybody.
And it's almost impossible to describe how you feel when you're walking along this trail on a bluff and you know your father walked there and you know your grandfather walked there and you know your great-grandfather walked there and you know his father walked there and you know your son will walk there.
Connecting shareholders and descendants to the land and Aluktik culture is one reason Koniag financially supports programs like the Dig-a-Fognak Cultural Camp.
Another hour, okay?
The natives of Afognak operate the camp. Here on Afognak Island, where Elder Susan Malutin teaches the Alutiiq language, there are no iPhones, no video games, no television.
And then we'll sprinkle salt on them, let them sit for about an hour and a half, and then we're ready to put them in the smoker.
Jeremy Kewen helps immerse the youth in a heritage that has been passed down for generations on Kodiak
Really
Island.
nicely. I can't wait to see what they taste like.
Only holding the knife with your right hand, your left thumb does all the muscle. And look how small.
Through hands-on carving, smoking fish, and sharing the language, students develop an appreciation of the Alutiiq culture and the one ingredient that never changes, a reliance on the land and what it provides.
Yeah, lunch.
At Karluk Lake, Koniag demonstrates again the reliance on its land and a shared vision that the land must remain a permanent part of the corporation and its people.
There's something that happens when you come out to land like this, or to land in Agiak, or Spruce Island, or Old Harbor. There's just a calmness and a peace, and it just seems like such a valuable place to have that you would want to do anything you can to keep it.
As Koniag's leadership contemplates the renewal of the Karluk River Conservation Easement, it will continue to reach out to shareholders and use their guidance to find the right balance.
Money can be gone, so easily, but the land is forever.
Among Koniag's core values is maintaining a long-term perspective. Decisions made with the knowledge that the Alutiiq people have been on Kodiak for thousands of years. Koniag expects to be around for generations to come, and for the Koniag people, our land is our legacy.